208 children aged between 5 and 15 years were taken to boarding schools of Lotome Girls School and Lokodio Primary School in Ngoriat, sub-county Napak district. These were picked from streets of Kampala and rehabilitated at Masulita Children's Home in Wakiso district. Napak district, together with partners, deployed 2 UPDF soldiers, nurses and parasocial workers in both schools to check on the welfare of these children. At Lotome Girls, over 200 girls were resettled in this school. Teachers and parasocial workers explain the progress of the learner.
Fearful, but the next day they were able to interact with the rest of other children.
They even involved in activities like sports within school, just to keep them first of all busy. That's what we've been doing. And in terms of writing anyway, they are not all that very.
They can now, they are touchable. They are actually listening even. They can do even work like washing their plates. At the beginning, they couldn't wash the plates. I had to get support.
So in them, by giving them spiritual guidance. Spiritual guidance is like giving the word of God.
Napak District Education Officer Joyce Nakoya commends the Office of the RDC for spearheading the resettlement campaigns for the returnees.
Our resident commissioner proposed that why don't we earmark some schools so that when these children are rounded back, instead of us taking them home, this is the beginning of the year, February, when the term was opening, why don't we take these children to a school of 6 to 12 to 13 years?
Napak district officials explained that 5 schools were identified to resettle more street children.
Is to make sure that by the end of this year, we have 1,500 children brought back through the education system and boarding education at that. So we have mapped out 5 more schools where we expect those that do not have the boarding facility, we expect to have this put in place. But
is to have engagement meeting with all the elders. I have arranged with the RDC, the elders of Lopay. We met so that we discuss these issues as elders before they start their cricket, their shrine thing. The hope of the same thing. We tell them.
Napak district officials calls upon well-wishers to give them a hand to keep these children in school.
Manpower. The teachers are actually few. We have few teachers. We have 944 children. When we ratio to 80 teachers, it is about 122 per class.
The one dress, no bed sheet. Even these ones that were brought without bed sheet, there are no bed sheets. There are no beds. There are no blankets. It is the same case in the street.
Support us in ensuring that we retain these children we brought from the streets. We retain them in school. We keep them in school so that at the end of it, we all yield the results that the children we brought back at least have been in school. We have brought them to school and their minds will be moved away from living in the streets.
Relatedly, Napak Resident District Commissioner Dennis Okori shares plans of resettling all people picked from the streets.
Sort of engagement between the parent and the child, where the parent is brought in as a responsible person now by being given terms and conditions in terms of reference of how they should be able to engage with the child. We are having a commitment letter which is supposed to be signed by the parent, in which they will commit that the child will remain in school, but the parent is coming to support the child while in school.
According to Napak district officials, most of the street people come from Lokopo, Lopay and Matany sub-county in Napak district. I'm Nafka Farida and Moriniga.